How are you doing
Oh no, I
today?
can't hear you again.
Can
Oh no.
you
Hang
hear me
on.
now?
1 second. It's always something.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the medium frequency. I am your host, and my name is Raven Wolfe, and my co host is Christopher Brown, and he will be with us again very shortly here. There we go. Hey,
I can hear
Chris.
you now. Jeez, I'm crow. One thing after another, I tell you, holy cow.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm on the show, and that's what's important.
Yep, I feel you there. It's been some interesting energy today, hasn't it?
What do they call it? Murphy's Law, right?
Something, something. Well, on a positive note, we do
Yes.
have a wonderful guest tonight. His name is Rob Gutro, and we're super excited to have him. We are going to be talking about one of my very favorite topics, pets and mediumship and all the good things. So let's go ahead and bring Rob on up. What do you say?
Sounds good to me.
Hi, Rob.
There
Hey,
he
Raven.
is.
Hey,
Well,
Christopher. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, as best as we can for a northern New England winter, right?
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
You are not kidding, my friend. Holy cow.
yeah, we've been moving today, like in the process of moving, and it's been raining over here, and it's just been like a little crazy, but it's okay. It's positive movement.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Rob, you are a pet psychic and medium, and you've written some amazing books. Can you tell us about what got you into pet mediumship and pet work?
Sure. So I communicate with people and pets. I prefer to communicate with pets because they're all about love, and people have issues. um, so what got me into this? Well, it all started when I was a kid. Back when I was 13 years old, I saw my grandfather appear to me after he died, and he scared the bejesus out of me. Um, I didn't stick around. I grabbed the family dog and ran out of the house. So I didn't speak to him. I was too scared.
Mhm.
Turns out my mother had the ability. She was afraid to use it. She confessed after I told her. Her father, the one that appeared to me, also had the ability, which is why he appeared to me.
Okay.
And it ran on my mother's side of the family. I did not pay attention to it throughout most of my life until I had a puppy who was tragically killed in 2005.
Mm.
And he reawakened my abilities. As someone who kept a diary, I wrote everything down that he showed me about how he was communicating from the other side. And that's how it all came back. So that was
That's
my
pretty
start.
wild.
Wow. Wow. So, when it comes to pets, when did you first realize that you had the capability, the capacity to do pet connections and readings?
Well, right when Buzz passed and he started communicating with me, and I realized that something was going on, and there, I learned quickly that there's no such thing as a coincidence when it comes to spirit.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So a lot of things are signs. So he sent me musical signs. He appeared to me physically, at least his rear end did, and I followed
Hmm.
him into another room, and then he disappeared. So I knew he knew it was him. I've heard him bark. I've heard his feet on the stairs. I've heard collar jingle. Led me to another dog that looked like him, and I can explain all these later if we get into them. But those are just some of the things, and it was in, I think, 2006 when my friend Barb Mallon, who's a medium in Virginia, invited me to an event that she was having that I learned I could communicate with other dogs.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Now, do you primarily work with dogs, or I mean, what other have you worked with other animals as well?
Sure. I've worked with any domesticated pet. So I've done
Okay.
reading dogs and cats and birds and horses and ferrets and rabbits and um, gerbils. And I draw the line at spiders and snakes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
afraid of them, so that would block my messaging.
Now, do you find that you could, if that was presented to you, like if somebody had like maybe, let's just say they had like a pet tarantula that meant the world to them, would that be something that could come to you, or do you find that you just kind of still push that away?
I think that because of my fear would act as a block, so I wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
go through it. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, and and then I would have nightmares of that thing crawling up myself. No,
For me, Rob, it would be sloths. I have an irrational fear of sloths. I will fully admit that.
interesting. How did you develop that?
It is a long story, but it started very much from childhood, and it has carried over my entire life. And now, people find it funny to get me sloth themed things. And yeah, actually, at the Salem Paracon that I saw you at last, I was
Mhm.
wearing my Claws T-shirt, which was a sloth that looked like Jaws.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay.
It was, yeah. My daughter got me that from Florida as a way to try to help me overcome my fear.
So I don't have a thing with sloths because I love prehistoric mammals and I loved the giant sloths.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I used to have little plastic toys of those. So that kind of comforted me. So maybe you need a plastic toy of a giant prehistoric sloth.
Oh boy, you never know. I mean, it could happen.
There
As
you
long as
go.
it facilitates healing, maybe it'll be a thing.
For me, it's as silly as it sounds, grasshoppers and crickets. I don't like insects very much. I mean, I do like ladybugs, and I know that all creatures have a purpose, but they freak
Mhm.
me out.
Yeah, I'm with you on the insects thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Spiders for me too. Yeah.
Ugh, yeah.
and cicadas.
Ooh, yeah.
I lived in the mid-Atlantic, and we used to have cicadas come out in droves that they just coated the roadways, and
Ugh.
that was just too much for me.
That's a lot.
Let's talk about pets, though.
Yeah, that is
Yes.
our furry friends, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you've written a couple of books. Can you share some of your inspiration and how that all got created and came together?
sure. So when I mentioned that I kept a diary, and when Buzz passed, and he started to give me all these signs, that diary became the impetus of the first book. And one of the big chapters in that book is how Buzz communicated from the afterlife. While I was writing that book, I started it in 2007.
Hmm.
Buzz passed in 2005. Um, and I was starting to connect with human ghosts, earthbounds, and spirits who crossed over.
Mhm.
My dad passed away in 2008 on August 2nd. And so while I was still keeping diaries, my dad helped me prove to my mother and my two brothers that he was in his own wake and his own funeral.
Mm.
And he did that with a handkerchief. I can tell that story if you want to hear
Yes, please.
Yeah.
it. Okay, so it's in my first book. My first book is called Ghosts and Spirits Explained, where I describe the difference between what I call an earthbound ghost versus a spirit that's crossed over.
Okay.
So I'm also a scientist too. I'm a meteorologist by trade, happily retired, I might add. So I use the science of energy to explain how the energy within us uh, cannot be destroyed. It only transforms. And it couples when we die, the physical shell dies. It couples with our memories and our personality and the knowledge of this life that we live. And then I think we make a choice because we see like a past life review. Um, and um, so we have two choices. We can cross over, join into the other side, heaven, Valhalla, whatever you want to call it. This is my experience.
Sure.
Or we stay earthbound in a fixed location of our choosing or where we died, whether the house you grew up in, or a prison, or a hospital, or battlefield. I find that sometimes people will, when they die in a place that's outside the home, they're confused when they wake up.
Mm.
So they stay around too long and then they get stuck, because when we are an energy entity after we pass, think of it like a battery. And over time, batteries lose their charge. When that energy loses a charge, they don't have enough energy to cross over, so they get stuck.
Oh,
That's the way I look at it. So, um, ghosts are earthbound, spirits have crossed over.
okay.
That's how I address them.
Mhm.
I know people use the words interchangeably, but to me, they're different.
Sure. Yeah.
um, so anyway, at my dad's funeral, um, my mom and dad were married 53 years, and in the 53 years that they were married, my dad always used handkerchiefs.
Mm.
He never liked Kleenex, always used handkerchiefs. My mother thought they were gross and disgusting, and she never wanted to touch them. She always told my dad, if you're going to use handkerchiefs, you can um, you can wash them separately in the washing machine by themselves, not with my clothes.
Yeah.
So mom never touched them. So during my dad's funeral, my dad gave me messages in and out through the wake. And his funeral, though, I was sitting next to my mom in the first pew of the church, and she was, of course, crying in her Kleenex, and it was falling apart. And I saw my dad come down from the pulpit and come over to me, and he stood there, and I was just dumbfounded because I could actually see him, which is not usual for me. And
Mhm.
he said, "Tell your mother to use my handkerchief."
Mhm.
And I said, "What?" And I said it out loud. Sometimes, Chris, when you see someone in spirit, you talk out loud.
On occasion, I will. Yeah.
Yeah, I've made that embarrassing mistake. So my dad said it again, and I said, "Really?" And then he said it a third time, and I said, "Okay, okay." And my mother looked at me and she said, "Who are you talking to?" Because there was nobody next to me.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers, oh, my husband was next to me, but he was like not paying attention, and my brothers were behind me. So I looked at my mom and I said, "It's Dad," and he said he wants you to use his handkerchief. And I will never forget the look on my mother's face, because her eyes opened wide, her mouth was open, and she reached into her purse, and for the first time in 53 years, she pulled out my dad's handkerchief,
Wow.
and she said, "There's no way you would know this."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Yeah, that Dad told me this." And my brothers were all dumbfounded behind
Yeah.
me. So
That's huge.
That
yeah,
is, yeah. And I can
yeah,
feel the emotion from that whole experience. Just, it's meant a lot, you know? It seems like it meant a lot.
it did. Yeah, yeah. I always choke up when I talk about that.
Yeah.
Especially because this is around the holidays. I miss my parents. Both of them are
Yeah.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, yeah. Um, so that chapter is also in my first book, Ghosts and Spirits Explained, with Buzz, with others, grandmothers that have come to me, and other relatives and friends who shared their experiences and so forth. Um, so I'm pretty proud of that book, because it was my first one, but
Absolutely.
yeah. But then I went crazy from there on.
Got the writing fever, huh?
I did. I've always liked to write. I grew up reading comic books, and I
Nice.
always used to write stories, and I used to sketch the superheroes and all that. So
That's awesome.
I
That's
put that
incredible.
into effect with my writing, because I also sketch out some of the ghosts that I see.
That's very cool.
Now that's really cool.
Yeah. I wish I had that ability. My daughter is the artist in our family. She is an incredible artist. So maybe I should actually have her draw the images of people that I see sometimes.
Yeah, so you can just describe them to her and see if you can get a sketch of somebody.
Yeah,
That
that'd
would
be
be
interesting.
cool.
That would be cool. Do you ever find that the animals that you've connected with over the years will lead you to um, more human spirits that need kind of closure or that need help on the other side?
Um, they have led me to other humans and humans that have other messages or just need to let loved ones know that they're there and they're with their pet. Um, Not so much closure, but
Mm,
more comfort.
sure. Yep.
Because what I do find is that the humans on the other side know that I'm trying to connect to the pet, and
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
they try not to overtake the reading. What once in a great while, I did a reading for, I think it was a dog, and this grandmother figure came in and she was telling me about how she liked to plant flowers. She wore flower dresses. She had flowers everywhere. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, girl, we're trying to talk. We're trying to talk to your granddaughter's dog.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's funny.
that is funny.
What is one of the most when it comes to what's one of the biggest challenges being a pet medium, in your opinion?
Um, trying to trying to get the pet on the other side to trust me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because pets behave on the other side the same way they do in life. So there have been some cats, for instance, who are extremely reluctant to connect with me because they look at me like I don't know you. And I'm trying to connect to them through the energy of the person who wrote me the email. Um, so I will tell them their pet parent's name and that they asked me to connect with you and so forth. So it depends on the pet, really.
Nice. All right. Yep. You
That
find
makes
some
sense.
animals are more receptive than others? I mean, obviously cats are a little standoffish, but
Dogs tend to be very receptive.
yeah.
Um, Horses do too, and rabbits.
Okay.
Rabbits are amazingly communicative.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, and I learned one bit of wisdom from a rabbit. I love citing this. A rabbit named Wudge, Wudge, and he said to tell his dad that love is uh, nothing to apologize for.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
that's pretty deep.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
it
That's
didn't come
pretty
from
wonderful.
me. It came from him. I'm
Yeah,
like,
no,
what?
absolutely.
So
That's some like pretty heavy knowledge from a rabbit. That's cool. I love that.
yeah, it's amazing what spirit will tell me.
Hmm.
And honestly, Christopher, there have been 4 rabbits that have given me like really sage advice. I'm
That's awesome.
like, wow, they're so wise, these little guys.
It's funny. I actually have a rabbit tattoo on my ribs.
No kidding. What
Yeah, I
inspired
do.
you to do that?
Well, so it's not from the most pleasant of movies, but have you ever heard of Watership Down?
I've read the book.
So the movie, or not the movie, the rabbit. I think his name is El Herrera, the Prince of a Thousand Enemies.
Hmm.
That I have him with that phrase, the Prince of with a Thousand Enemies, on my ribs.
Okay.
So that's where that came from. It was a movie that I'll tell you the story real quick if you don't mind. But my mom's ex fiance, he when we were very young thought it would be hilarious to show us this movie, as it is kind of a dark one. And so we watched
Hmm.
it, and obviously we were horrified, and he thought it was hilarious. But I ended up befriending him later on in life, and we became close friends. And so it was kind of an honor to him as well. But that's kind of why.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. You had to grow into it.
that's right. That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story.
Hurt like hell though. Oh my god.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Do you have any tattoos, Rob?
No, I do not. I have a lot of bite marks though from our 13-year-old Dachshund Terrier mix.
Oh no.
Well, he came.
It's basically tattoos with no ink, right?
Yeah, those are tattoos. Yeah, yeah. He was all many of our dogs have been rescues, and he came to us at 10 years old, and he was abused, and
Oh,
he for 3 years he went through this biting thing. He's now 3.5. He finally
mhm.
stopped.
Excellent, excellent, nice,
Yeah, Prozac's helpful. Yeah,
good,
but yeah,
good.
um,
I'm glad he's doing better.
he's living a good life now. So
Excellent, excellent.
yeah, so those are my tattoos. They're battle scars.
Yeah, battle scars.
Oh,
That's right. Nice, perfect.
oh,
So one of the things I wanted to mention to you guys is that, especially about pets, is that not only can they um, convey signs of things that like how they lived, whether it be noises, whether it be moving a bowl or a toy. Um, they can lead us to another pet that looks like them. Um,
Hmm.
they um, they can also influence things too, just like people can influence things in nature, especially like cats and dogs become obsessed with birds and squirrels and so forth. Um,
Sure.
and that's happened quite a bit. Um, Sometimes when I do readings, they'll show me one or the other or whatever. And one woman wrote me a note, and she said that when her husband passed away, um, a groundhog came up to her back deck, to her sliding glass door, and put his little paws right in the window and put his nose against the window. And he stared until she saw him. And then he disappeared. Then he left.
Oh wow.
She said, 3 years later, their dog, it was her husband's favorite dog, passed away. And she said in those 3 years, they had never seen that groundhog again
Hmm.
until after the dog passed. The groundhog came back to the deck, put his paws on the window and his nose against the window pane, and made sure she saw him.
Oh
And
oh
that
man.
man,
told her that the dog was with her husband.
Oh man. That's incredible.
that's that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, all these things choke you up.
They really do. I'm
Yeah,
sitting here like, oh my god, like my heart is just, but
I'm over here trying not to cry.
So, so I have to confess, this has been a really hard year for me because our dog Tyler passed away. Um, he was a black and tan dachshund. He was a rescue. We adopted him from a kill shelter at 1 years old, 1 year old,
yeah.
and we've had him for 13 years and 8 months, 9 months. And this summer, he was bloating, and we took him to the vet. We didn't know what was going on, and they did an X-ray, and they saw what looked like a mass. Now he
Hmm.
showed no signs of discomfort until the 24th of July. So we took him in the 25th, and the vet said, you need to go get an ultrasound today to figure out what it is. We did, found out it was a giant tumor. They said he had
Um,
stage 4 cancer throughout 5 organs. He only had days to live. That's the news I got on July 25th.
Mm.
That night he was paralyzed. He couldn't move his back legs. He suddenly he became incontinent. He couldn't do anything over the course of 4 days. So in 4 days we had to say goodbye to Tyler, and he
Mm.
was perfectly fine except for bloating on the 24th.
Hmm.
And he was my heart dog,
Yeah.
and it killed me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
I am so sorry, Rob. I really am, truly.
yeah.
Thank you. So, well, I'm trying to do pet readings for people. I'm not taking any more pet readings, by the way,
Hmm.
because this was just too much for me.
Sure.
And I try to do pet readings, and sometimes he comes in and he helps me connect. Um, but the emptiness is just it it's terrible. But anybody who lost a pet, you need to know that they can hear you and they can see you,
Hmm.
and they will give you signs. Some things that I do that may make it easier for you is that his blanket is still on one side of my bed. I kiss it goodnight every night.
Mm.
His 5 favorite toys are on my bed. And I hold them sometimes. So those are just some things that you can do to comfort yourself. But know that your other pets, your living pets,
Mhm.
are also feeling the same grief.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So yeah, so if they had a companion pet, they
Mhm.
feel the grief even more than we do. Like
Mhm.
we have a 17-and-a-half-year-old Dachshund Terrier mix, Dachshund Chihuahua mix, and he since Tyler passed, he lost interest in eating. He doesn't play anymore. He won't do agility. He doesn't like to go on walks anymore.
Mhm.
All of these things. Doesn't play with toys anymore. And he lost his vision from cataracts.
Mhm.
So he's blind and he's anxious and he's lost. So I give him all the attention I can possibly give him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this is what grief does to everybody, to humans and to pets.
Mhm.
So just because we're grieving, um, we need to also make sure that we are taking extra care of the pets that are left behind that are still with us
I
because
Mhm.
they
fully
need
agree.
it.
I fully agree.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So sorry to bring you down.
No, no, no.
No.
It's been
Absolutely not.
a really challenging Christmas season for
Yeah.
Yeah.
me. I mean, it's just been empty, really. And people say, "Well, you're a pet medium. You can talk to them anytime." No,
Doesn't change it.
No.
no,
Doesn't
doesn't.
make it easy. I've had people say that to me. They're like, "Oh, you're a medium. Loss shouldn't affect you." And I'm like, "Well, that's bullshit because it absolutely does."
It
You know,
Yeah.
does.
it doesn't bring back the physical animal or person. Unfortunately. Um,
Have you heard of Bundle of Bullies on Facebook?
No.
Okay. Well, it, I've been thinking about grief and um unfortunately, while the owner was away, one of the other dogs at the doggy daycare charged towards Mr. One Tooth, Rafi, and one of the other dogs got in the way to um, protect Rafi. His name is Odin, and there's a lot of us that have been following this situation because we really love Mr. One Tooth because his mom would always like do these videos where like she'd have like different doggy treats and stuff to where they'd like eat them, and it was just fun. She'd always put them in fun costumes, and everybody just all of her dogs, all of her puppies were very, very good. But Mr. Pickles, there was some kind of they're doing an investigation on it, but
Gosh.
to find out what happened. But she lost not only Rafi, Mr. One Tooth, who everybody knows as Mr. One Tooth, but they lost Odin because Odin was protecting Mr. Raffi from Pickles when Pickles was having a moment, and Mr. Raffi had went into cardiac arrest, and so everybody's been, grieving. Everybody that follows, the bundle of bullies, we've all been grieving because these are dogs that maybe we haven't met in person, but
Hmm.
they are dogs that changes animals really are angels in disguise, in my opinion.
absolutely.
And I can the reason I bring up their story is it seems like a lot of people are losing, animals, people that well, I call them fluffy babies.
Hmm.
They seem to be losing.
Uh-oh, we lost her.
We did.
Uh-oh. Well,
So, one of the things that I talk about in my Pets in the Afterlife 1 book is Pets
yes,
in the Afterlife 1 is different than the other 4 because it talks about more of the science and that also the behavioral science. And
yes.
I also explain how we grieve more deeply for the loss of a pet than we do for humans. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, and what I've read psychological studies, and what I found is that because we raise pets the same way we raise our children. You know, we
Sure.
take them to the doctor, we take them to school, we teach them how to socialize, we train them how to go to the bathroom.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, we they know dinner time, they know breakfast time, they know all kinds of routine.
Teach
They
some
know what to go
words.
for. Yeah. So when for most of us, when a pet dies, it's a child who dies.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Just like
Yeah.
for me, my
Hmm.
Tyler was my boy. He
Hmm.
was the happiest boy, and um, it's normal to grieve deeply. I mean, my
Absolutely.
mother passed away in 2013,
Hmm.
and that was after our dog Sprite passed away. And I
Hmm.
grieved very deeply for Sprite. We only had him 2.5 years. He was a rescue at 14.
Hmm.
But when my mother passed, you know, I already knew that my dad was there.
Sure. Yeah. You're right.
And my dad walked into the hospital room when I came in to see my mother. She had a stroke and she was not going to recover. And he was there. And you know, and I was not terribly upset because
Hmm.
you know, my mother had lived a good life. She was 86, and I knew it was her time. And my
Hmm.
dad's like, "Don't worry about it, Rob. I'm waiting for her, and I've got her favorite dog."
Very
And
nice.
so I wasn't grieving like I did with the dogs because of
Right.
the sense of responsibility.
Yeah. Yep. It's remarkable as well, and I'm sure you've probably come across this, but I mean, I've done a reading for this one gentleman, and I brought through like 5 or 6 different people that he had lost. I mean, he had a crew with him, and he was stone cold. I mean, just very stiff upper lip, very calm, collected. And then I said, oddly enough, because like sometimes pets will come to me as well, which is kind of neat, and I really enjoy that because, as you said, they are just so full of unconditional love and light. It's remarkable. It's almost, it takes you back. But I had a goat come through, believe it or not. And I said, there is a goat that's coming through. Oddly enough, I said, I see this, and it says to me that it had a perforated bowel. Unfortunately, that's how it passed, and you did everything you could to try and save him. And the gentleman lost his mind, just completely burst into tears and said, I did everything to try and save him. You know, and it was a really healing experience for him to hear that that goat truly appreciated everything that he did for him. And I just, to what you were saying, I think that people, our empathy and our love for animals is truly unmatched. Truly, I definitely feel that way.
Yeah,
Um, I'd
absolutely.
love to pick your brain about the science aspect of all this because
Sure.
I myself consider myself a bit of a scientist. Not to steal the line from Spider-Man, but you know what I'm talking about? That scene from Spider-Man where he goes, "I'm a bit of a scientist myself."
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Big superhero
But
fan.
what's that?
I said I'm a big superhero fan.
Absolutely, yeah, awesome. So you know what I'm talking about. But so as far as the science goes, um, we obviously energy cannot be destroyed. It goes somewhere. You had talked about human beings with ghosts and spirits. Do you
Yes.
find that that's the same energetic level in with animals? And as far as like the science behind it, how would you maybe explain the frequency of that, if that makes sense?
Sure. So yeah, it's the same. I found it's the same for every living thing. So every living thing
Okay.
has a choice to stay behind Earthbound as a ghost, or cross over as a spirit.
Hmm.
Um, I will tell you, in my experience, 99.5% of all pets and animals cross over
Right.
because they're intuitive. You know, when you think about an animal in life, they will approach someone that they can sense is kind
Hmm.
and gentle. And
Right.
when their physical time is expired and the light appears, they can sense peace and love. So they all go into it.
I see. Yep.
Only very few stay behind because they may be stuck. You know, they may want to stay with their pet parent.
I see.
I've only run into 4 earthbound ghosts as
Okay.
three cats and 1 dog.
All right.
Um, that's it. But yeah, everybody, we all have the same choices.
Yep. Do you ever find that us as people can ever hold back an animal from maybe going to the light or becoming more spirit than ghost?
Um, I, I really think it's more of an individual choice when it comes to that. So
Hmm.
I don't. People have asked me if they've held their dog back, and the answer to that I've always received is no. They always cross over, and the reason for that too is that when they pass, our loved ones in spirit are there to beckon
Hmm.
them. There
Yeah.
are other dogs and cats from previous, your previous time growing up, or your parents or relatives, dogs and cats. So, and honestly, Christopher, I find that dogs and cats and other pets are much smarter than people because they go where it's peaceful and full of
That's
love.
right.
Humans are too dumb. Humans are too dumb. They're like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay behind.
Yeah, yeah. I think
And
I'm gonna hang out here for a while in this dark dank cave or this castle or something, right?
yeah, well, so one of the big reasons that I find too is that for people to stay earthbound as a ghost is because when they get that life review that we've learned about, they often see some bad things that they've done to hurt other
Right.
people, and they
Right.
fear going to hell.
Ah.
And spirits always tell me there's no hell. It's just three levels on the other side, and you put yourself in whatever level that you think your life gave you.
Sure.
You wherever you achieved. So all the people who committed crimes and murders and all that, they'll be on the lower level if they cross over.
Sure.
Um, if they don't, that's why prisons are full of
Wow.
ghosts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why pets are pure of heart and they will
Yep.
cross over.
So Morgan has a question here. She says, "Do you think it's more the pets sometimes choose to stay back longer to try and help their owners grieve them?"
Um, I know that there's hesitation sometimes to
Hmm.
do that, but because they can sense the light, that draw of love and peace is much stronger,
Right.
and the relatives, as I said, are beckoning them to come. So, and once they get there, they instantly learn how they can come back and give signs.
Hmm. Um, I'm curious as well. What's your thoughts on reincarnation?
Oh, I think we all come back, um, but in my experience, everybody in this lifetime that we know has to pass, and then we all come back.
Oh my! I'm so glad you say that.
Really?
Yeah, because I've had that theory for the longest time. Like, I think that once the last person who knows of us is gone,
Mhm.
then our souls are able to come back, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's, oh man, you just like answered such a huge question for me. Thank you. Like-minded people, I love it.
Yes, I want to give you a big hug.
I know, right? Yeah, we'll give you an internet hug, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Um, so one of the questions that people ask me is that very thing all the time. And a woman said to me, she said she's absolutely 100% convinced that her her new dog is her old dog that just
Yes.
passed away.
Yeah.
She's earlier in the year. Well, first of all, here's the caveat. She said the new dog was born before the old dog passed away. So
Right.
that's
Right.
not possible.
Right. Exactly.
but
Exactly. Yeah.
but other people say that they see their new pet that never met the old pet doing something they used to do. That's
Uh,
because whenever our pets pass, they will come back and they will train the new dog to do something they used to do, so we know their pet is in spirit, is guiding the new pet.
that's
That's
very
why.
cool. I
Yeah.
love that. That is amazing. That is very cool. Geez, I just had another really interesting question for you, and it eluded me because that I love that your perspective on what you just said. Um, geez, let me think now. Obviously, so okay, now I remember. You have not just the first book; you have many books that you've written. What I'd like to know is, I know you said that you're very proud of your first book because it's your baby, it's your first, right?
Sure.
But aside from that one, what would you say is the one that really you feel the most accomplished with, or the one that speaks to what you really wanted to get across the most, if that makes sense.
Well, in terms of the pet series,
Sure.
so in terms of the pet series, I would say Pets in the Afterlife 3 and 4. Those are the new
Excellent.
ones.
Yep.
And one is for dogs, one is for cats. All cats, all dogs. Both of them have special chapters in there from friends of mine who deal with grief counseling. One is a
Okay.
social worker, the other one is a medical psychologist. So
Nice.
that will also help people who are grieving.
That's excellent. I love that.
Yeah, and I'm honored to say that the Pets in the Afterlife 3 book, the one about dogs, won an International Book Award for 3 years in a row as one of the best grief books, which blew me away.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. And all of my dogs in spirit are on the covers of my books, and
Oh, that's incredible.
they each have a chapter in those particular books.
That's a beautiful thing. I love that. I love that. So a lot of people too, whether they are in spirit or not, I mean, mostly in spirit, but when they're sending signs to you, a lot of people in spirit will choose to use animals as signs, right? I've had many people connect, motherly or grandmotherly figures to cardinals. I've had people connect their fathers sometimes, or even younger loved one males to dragonflies because they live hard and fast, and then they
Mm-hmm.
pass early, right?
Yes.
What would you say is the reason for that connection between the two? I mean, obviously, it's something that has been in our culture for a long time, but what do you think really kind of why do you think spirit uses those animals in particular and insects too to get their message across?
Well, in terms of pets, it's whatever they've observed in the physical, and as pet parents, we can see what they're observing. So
Mm,
that's why they will use that particular
okay,
animal or insect.
sure.
So
That's
our
cool.
sprite used a butterfly. He sent a yellow and black butterfly after he passed, who spent 20 minutes around flying around our other dogs, and the other dogs didn't touch it, which
Ah,
is
yep.
unusual because dachshunds go after everything. Um,
Yep.
and every July 8th, I see that yellow and black butterfly.
That's amazing. I love that. So talk about a sign, right?
Yes. And just so you know that our dogs and cats do protect us from the other side. Um, whatever they did in life, they will do in the afterlife. They will like my Tyler was a fierce protector of me.
Mm-hmm.
He would go after dogs that weighed 100 pounds and he was only 20
Aw, good boy.
because he was protecting me. So
Yeah,
they still do that. They'll nudge us. You may feel like a nudge on your ankle, or you may feel a feeling in your gut, like intuition, and that's them trying to give us a message.
that's awesome. We lost a kitty cat that was very near and dear to us a few years back. She was the only cat that I've ever known that would play fetch. There's these things called they're Nerf guns. They're these little balls. They're called rival balls, but they're just little circular yellow things. And you'd throw one down the stairs, and she'd go bombing down the stairs. She'd grab that rival ball. She'd come right up, and she'd drop it at your feet, and she'd want you to throw it again. And it's funny because even still to this day, sometimes I will get home, and we buried her out in the garden where her favorite sunning spot was.
Awesome.
Um, we buried her with all of her rival balls, all of her toys, some Cheez-Its because she loved to eat Cheez-Its.
Okay.
Yep. So it's just one of those things, and but I will still to this day, sometimes I'll get home maybe from a hard day or something, and there will be a rival ball sitting right in the kitchen waiting for me. And it's just like, like I love her for doing that.
Wow.
It's unreal. And I'm like, where could this have come from? And we have a new cat. We have another cat. His name is Cotswold. He's a little black cat. We rescued him as well, and it took me about a year or a little over a year before I was ready to get him because I couldn't give my heart to another animal at that point. But we got him, and I was like, "There's no way he found this because there's none around." It's like I can't blame it on him. you know. So, but
Wow. That's fantastic. What a sign that is.
I know and I love that animals are constantly trying to send us these signs, and just let us know that their love is still eternal for us. It's a beautiful thing. I often hear people talk about the Rainbow Bridge as well. What are your thoughts on that?
So yeah, so I've heard about that since I had my first pet. But so I think the Rainbow Bridge is a really beautiful way to convey peace
Hmm.
and love on the other side. I mean, I don't think there's an actual rainbow bridge, but um,
Hmm.
it's it's just like it's just something for us, the living people, so that we can
Sure.
relate or understand that there is a peace. And
Yeah.
interestingly enough, I used that concept on the covers of my books 2 and 3. I mean 3 and 4, with them at the bridge, the dogs and the cats at the bridge, because that's what people associate with crossing over.
Sure. So it's more of a visual for our benefit to kind of help us understand what's going on.
Yes.
That was you
Yep.
saying? Okay. Yep. That's I've always wondered that, and I was curious. I'm glad that you shared your opinion on that. Now
Well,
you are a Mainer.
I am.
You are. I have to ask, has it's going to sound odd, but have you ever encountered anybody that, like, maybe that was a hunter, that maybe a deer came through, or a moose or anything like that?
I have not.
You have not. Okay, maybe
Not
someday,
yet.
but not
Maybe
yet.
someday. Yeah, but no.
Yeah. Um, it's interesting. There was I can't remember. There's a zoo local to Maine, and there was a woman who came to see me, and I was connecting with and I was wondering if you've ever had this experience. I was connecting with a spirit, and I was delivering these messages. I wasn't even aware that this was an animal, but she was confirming the things I was saying, and then she goes, "You're connecting with a chimp that had passed away." And I was like, well, then. Now, have you ever experienced that where you've been connecting with an animal spirit that was so communicative or so human like that you mistook them for a human?
Well, certainly they've sounded human, but I
Right.
haven't mistook them, fortunately. But that's an interesting thing because chimps associate with humans a
Yeah, and they're
lot,
very
so they observe
right.
our behavior. And people ask me if I can communicate with wild animals, and the answer is no, because
Mhm.
typically, generally, wild animals don't know our language, our habits, our emotions, our movements, our routine, nothing. So there's
That's
nothing to
fascinating.
yeah, so there's nothing to connect to them. Um, but chimps I can certainly see because they absolutely mimic what we do.
That's a great way to look at it. I had never really thought about that. Like, and it's so true. I mean, if you were to go into the middle of the woods and try to, like, get a bobcat to come near you, it's going to be like, get the hell away from me, you know, because it doesn't know our language. It doesn't know where we're coming from. That makes total sense.
Yeah, it's out of yeah, they react in fear. So
Yep. Yep.
um, I saw that somebody asked a question about a familiar.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't see that, but
I don't remember.
whoever that was, can you please ask that again and pop it up in the chat, because that would be an interesting question. But what are your thoughts on familiars and things like that? Connected animals in that way.
So I do think that there are some people that have familiars in animals. Cats,
There we go.
cats are much more associated with familiars than dogs are.
Sure.
Um, but one thing I have learned is that sometimes, so here, when I'm doing readings, sometimes some pets will come through as an old soul. That means that they've lived with us in a previous lifetime and they've come
Sure.
back connected to us again in this lifetime. Um, Also, some other pets will come through as a new soul. So they're much more, new souls tend to be more energetic, more goofy, more untrainable.
You're right.
um, Old souls tend to be more knowledgeable of how things work, and
Mhm.
they're trainable more faster. They connect to our emotions very quickly. They can
Mhm.
read us very quickly, and that's how I differentiate an old soul from a new soul.
That's great. They're kind of, it's funny because, like, you'll see that in my opinion, you'll see that in children sometimes. You
Yeah.
might find that kids come into this life and maybe they're 8 years old or so, and they're very much sunshine, rainbows, and fairies and butterflies. Then you might have another 8-year-old that's very much like, I want to learn about World War II. You know, so I think to what you're just saying, I think that I mean, that's how I connected anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. um, so you also do some paranormal investigating, right?
I do. As a matter of fact, I just did an investigation on the 20th with my good friend Candace Feathers, who is online here, and her husband Derek.
I love
They're
those
known
two with
they're
all
known
of
as the
my heart.
Paraclauses.
Yes.
For anyone who doesn't know that, they're known as the Paraclauses, and that was dubbed. They were dubbed that by my friend Monique too soon.
Oh, is that right?
Yes,
Huh.
because they
I never knew that. Yeah, they had never told me that. And maybe they did. I hope that they haven't because I don't want to feel like I wasn't listening. But that's interesting.
so the reason they go on investigations. Candace can tell you, I mean, of course, but I'll just try and sum it up. They go on investigations sometimes dressed up in as Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, because if there are ghosts, earthbound ghosts who are children, those children are more apt to come to them and tell them what's going on.
Oh
And I
wow,
think that's just an amazing thing.
that
um,
is truly amazing.
and they were at the SK Pierce house, and we encountered three different children there.
Yes. Yep.
What a comfort for Santa and Mrs. Claus to go in when you have been trapped for eternity, and you have no comfort, and here they are bringing peace and comfort. I just
Okay.
thought, I mean, I just got choked up because it's such a special gift to give somebody who's trapped as an earthbound ghost and try to help them out.
I think that Derek and Candace are a gift to all of us. Truly.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
They helped me at a time when everybody else had left, and they have just been constant, unconditional friends to me and my wife. And if you guys are still listening, I am forever in your debt. And I know you're going to say I'm not, but I love you dearly.
And if people want to read about them, I've been on several investigations with them, thanks to Monique organizing them. And one of them is the haunting of Emery Estate.
Very
They were
nice.
in there, and, and it was, and they did amazing stuff. And the next one they're in is the book that comes out in 3 days. I'm so excited about this. Haunting of Hunt Memorial Library in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Amazing. Awesome.
And it was Candace. Candace is a medium. Derek is a tech whiz. And
Yep.
it was Candace who was able to discern the identity of one of the ghosts that we all wound up helping to cross over
Oh, that's
in the
beautiful.
Hunt Memorial Library. So and yeah, and Derek got a confirmation using tech equipment at the same time that it came through to Candace. So just amazing stuff.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And like just you know, all of you guys working together, I think are a powerhouse. So that's a super cool thing. Um, did you find that you were more drawn to mediumship first, or would you say that paranormal investigating kind of came after? I mean, where did that fit in the timeline of your life?
Well, I was trying to figure it out. So after my dog Buzz and my dad, what I decided to do is I was going to test myself
Hmm.
because I didn't, I'm a scientist. I was like,
Sure.
am I crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my husband and I started going to historic properties in Maryland where we lived at. And whenever I would go in there in a property, I would connect with an earthbound ghost.
Hmm.
And then he would, he would roll his eyes and go, yeah, whatever, go talk to the host historian. And I would. And then oddly enough, I would confirm that was the kind of person, that was the name of the person, that was the kind of person that lives here, that's how they died, and so forth. And then I started believing in what I was getting.
Yeah. Yep.
I gave a lecture to a paranormal group in Maryland, and after I did about my first book, they said, "Hey, we need a medium. Come on!" So I did. I
Yep.
joined.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah, and now I work with Monique Too Soon and the Power Clauses and Lexi Moriarty. And we are we're I just love them all. They're just amazing.
That is awesome. I would love to, I'd love to also work with you as well if you're ever open to it. I know you said you are, and I would
Oh
love to
yeah,
do that. Maybe have like, I could connect with people, you could connect with pets, like a dual thing, which would be amazing.
that would be great. I would
Well,
love
let's
that.
figure it out. You're in,
I'm
you're
in
west,
southwestern Maine.
southwestern Maine. Okay. Would you be ever willing to come to central Maine, Augusta area?
I will be coming to Augusta to the horror and paranormal conference in September.
I will be there as well. Let's set up something beforehand. I'll message you about it though.
That'd be great. Awesome.
Awesome. So we'll set that up. Cool. Um, so this has been an awesome conversation, and I know it's been a little tough at times, but it is. I hope that everybody listening knows that what Rob was saying about your loved ones being there for you and being around you and loving you and all that. I hope that holds strong for you because you're a man who knows your stuff, and both on the giving of the messages and both of feeling and experiencing loss yourself. So that is a very strong thing. You know what I mean? And truly, I am sorry for the year that has had, and I hope that it gets better. I hope things look up for you, man. I really do. You know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep. So, is there any questions that you would say that I have not asked that you would have wanted me to ask so far?
Um, just everybody should just know that when you have to make the decision to help cross your pet over, that they can read your emotions. They know what's going on. They always tell me how thankful they are that you had the courage to do that for them, and you obviously learned the lesson of unconditional love. I had to do that with Tyler, and it killed me, but
Yeah.
I knew that he was suffering, and it's the greatest act of love that we can do for them.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Whew.
Yeah, it's a tough topic, but
It's
I would rather know the unconditional love of pets than not.
well, I know from my end, and I'm sure Raven will feels the same way. But whatever God you believe in, you are doing that work. Truly.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
Raven's phone died
I honestly feel
with
that
her
way,
moving.
and I just I appreciate all the things that you have done in your life and your career, all the books that you've written to help people get through all this stuff. What is the best way for people to get a hold of you if they want to? Or you said you're not doing readings as of right now, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but how would they? What's the best way to to read your books and follow you and get your content and get help from you?
They can go to robgutro.com, or if they can't spell my name, they can go to petspirits.com. It goes to the same place.
Awesome.
Or just type in Gutro on Amazon. I have 14 books, 4 series of books. Pets
Amazing.
are one. And the Haunting of series is the one with Monique, and the Paraclauses. And I urge people to check out those books, especially the ones coming out January 1st, The Haunting of Hunt Memorial Library.
Do you have any other books on the way? Do you have any more in the works?
I have 11.
Magic number 12, 13, 14?
Yeah, Monique wants me to write our adventures of the Haunting of Wilson Castle. So
Man.
that'll be in the works because we did an investigation out there this summer. I have Kindred Spirits 2 coming about my husband's late partner, who has become my best friend in spirit.
That's amazing.
And told me all kinds of things about their previous life that I never knew.
Ah,
And The Pets in the Afterlife 5 is on the way too.
that's excellent. I love that. Did you ever pick up on the peacocks out at Wilson Castle?
I did not. I was
So they had that big aviary, I think.
I was too busy with the human ghosts.
Fair enough. I see Gwen popped in. I don't know. Can you hear her? Is she? Because sometimes
Rob,
people will
can you
come in
hear me?
like, okay,
Yes.
no, I cannot. I
Yeah,
cannot
Chris
hear her.
will you tell him that I am
That's a
talking?
bummer.
Hang on just a
I will
second.
be quiet so she can talk.
That There you go. Raven's phone died, and with her moving, she can't find her block. She told me this ahead of time. I think you heard her, Rob. But yeah, she couldn't help it. And if you will, just know that, I think all of us in this room and everything have lost pets, and I'm crying, have made us all cry, and we're feeling for you. So I know.
Thank you.
You're such a beautiful soul. You really are.
Thank you. So Raven's phone died and she couldn't find her rechargeable block, Christopher.
Yeah.
No worries. Such is life. It happens.
Yes.
Yep. And Morgan wanted me to put this back up to make sure that you saw it, Rob.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I'm crying too. So,
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Rob. You've been such a great guest. And I'm going to let Chris close this out if you'll tell him that for me. His something with his phone does not like when people pop in and out. So if you don't mind telling him that.
All right, Christopher, you can close it out, Gwen said.
All right. All right. So I think that, this has been an amazing show. Rob, I appreciate you and your courage in talking about some really hard topics and extending your knowledge and your love of all this stuff. You are a remarkable person. I am glad to have met you, and I'm glad that you were on this show. I truly appreciate it, honestly, with all my heart.
Well, meeting you was a gift to me. Honestly.
Well, thank you.
I can't wait till we work together.
I was going to say, we will definitely be in touch. As a matter of fact, when we are all done with this, I'm going to send you a message, and we're going to work on the logistics of all this. So we're going to get something worked out. I promise.
Thank you.
But in the meantime, I wish you all the greatest success in the world. I wish you love and light, my friend. And just, I think things are going to look up for you, honestly. I think things are moving forward. And, if you're ever interested or when you are ready, I would be happy to do a reading swap or a reading with you, just to maybe help with some closure yourself. So
thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Yeah, that would be great. We'll do it.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, thank you everybody else who has who's joined in the chat and asked some awesome questions and just watching the show. I know Raven, her phone died, but she appreciates all of you as well, and so I'm going to speak for her on that one. I know she does. This has been an absolute pleasure. It's been a gift of a show. Thank you so much for everybody tuned in, and thank you, Rob. Thank you, Gwen. And we'll see you next week, I guess. I mean, not I guess. I know I'll be here next week. So will Raven. So.